Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 1 hour. Russian president backs US 30-day ceasefire idea for Ukraine but says details need to be sorted out. Ukrainian President Zelensky called Putin's statement manipulative. Global stocks tumble as trade war escalates. US President Donald Trump threatens 200% tariff on alcohol from European Union countries. Armenia and Azerbaijan agreed treaty terms to end almost 40 years of conflict. Francis Macron says agreement should open way for a lasting peace deal in the region. And India celebrates the Festival of Colours. A spring festival symbolizes the victory of good over evil and marks the end of winter this Holi. A very colourful morning to all our viewers joining us at this broadcast of DD India News Hour. To begin with the latest that we are tracking for you. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday that Russia supported a US proposal for a ceasefire in Ukraine in principle, but sought a number of clarifications and conditions that appear to rule out a quick end to the fighting.
First of all, I would like to start by saying thanks to US President Donald Trump for his attention to settlement in Ukraine. We agree with the proposal to cease hostilities, but we proceed from the fact that this cessation would be such that it would lead to a long-term peace and would eliminate the original causes of this crisis.
Putin's heavily qualified support for the US ceasefire proposal looked designed to signal goodwill to Washington and open the door to further talks with US President Donald Trump. Now, both Moscow and Washington cast the conflict as a deadly proxy war that could have been escalated into World War III.
To cease hostilities, and what will be the price of such orders? Do you imagine almost 2,000 kilometers of front line? Who will figure out who and when in the field of 2,000 kilometers had broken a ceasefire? And then who will blame whom in violation of this agreement? These are many of the questions that need to be analyzed carefully by both sides. That is why the idea itself is right, and we absolutely support it. But there are questions we should discuss.
US President Donald Trump said on Thursday that his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, was engaged in serious talks with the Russians in Moscow on the US proposal that Kyiv has already agreed upon. Earlier, US agreed to resume weapons supplies and intelligence sharing with Ukraine after Kyiv said at talks in Saudi Arabia that it was ready to support a ceasefire proposal. While Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman told Russian President Vladimir Putin in a phone call, the kingdom remains committed to facilitating dialogue and supporting a political resolution to the Ukrainian crisis. While Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Thursday that Russia's President Vladimir Putin is preparing a rejection of a ceasefire proposal, but is scared to say this directly to the US President.
We have all now heard very predictable and highly manipulative words from Putin in response to the idea of a ceasefire at the front. He is in fact preparing a rejection at present. Putin is of course scared to tell President Trump directly that he wants to continue this war, that he wants to kill Ukrainians. That's why in Moscow they are imposing upon the idea of a ceasefire these conditions so that nothing happens at all or so that it cannot happen for as long as possible.
European Union leaders gathered in South Africa for a summit on Thursday, expressing hopes for a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine ahead of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's scheduled visit next month. Now, the summit aimed to strengthen European Union and South Africa relationship amid global geopolitical tensions. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa stressed the importance of multilateralism and international cooperation in resolving the conflict. He also expressed South Africa's support for a peaceful resolution between Russia and Ukraine and reiterated the country's readiness to facilitate dialogue.
The people of Ukraine and indeed the people of Russia need more peace than anyone else in the world, and our task is to urge them, to encourage them, to nudge them in the way of finding a peaceful solution. That will be our key message as President Zelensky comes here.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen emphasized the urgent need for a resolution to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
No one deserves more peace than the people of Ukraine. It is important that we work for just and lasting peace for Ukraine. We exchanged view on a process that has to lead on both sides for an engagement that we have a true peace agreement, not only a ceasefire but also a true peace agreement. And therefore it was for us very important to exchange the views on how to get there.
Foreign ministers of G7 nations sought to show a united front in Canada on Thursday after 7 weeks of rising tensions between US allies and President Donald Trump over his upending of foreign policy on Ukraine and imposition of tariffs. Now, the group of 7 ministers from Britain, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan and the United States, along with the European Union, convened in the Quebec Hills. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio briefed his colleagues on talks on Tuesday with Ukraine in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where Kyiv said it was ready to support a 30-day ceasefire deal. But officials said news of ambiguous comments by Russian President Vladimir Putin had broken during the session, leaving the delegates unclear where things stood. Now, member nations emphasized the need for robust and credible security guarantees so that a ceasefire would be respected and that Ukraine would be able to deter and defend itself against future aggressions. The G7 meetings came just as Trump's sweeping 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminium imports came into effect on Wednesday, prompting immediate retaliation from major US trading partners. The European Union and Canada swiftly unveiled billions of dollars in counter tariffs. Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly said on Wednesday she would be on the offensive at the G7 and coordinate a response with the Europeans to put pressure on the US. The European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said that China gained from the trade war Washington was waging on its allies. While France's Prime Minister Francois Bayrou says European Union countries will not yield to Trump's threats of steeping tariffs on wine and champagne imports.
We need all governments, not only France but also Italy, which produces a lot of wine and liquor, and Spain, which produces a lot of wine and liquor. And if European nations are on their own, they won't stand a chance. And that's why we need to build European solidarity in face of this. I have no doubt that we too can show our will and our resistance, but we can't yield to these kinds of threats.
US President Donald Trump has threatened a retaliatory 200% tariff on imports of alcoholic drinks from European Union unless the EU removes its 50% tariff on American whiskey. Now, Trump's threat came in response to a European Union plan to impose tariffs on American whiskey and other products next month, which itself is a reaction to Trump's 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports that took effect on Wednesday. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Commissioner for Trade and Economic Security Maros Sefcovic said that the countermeasures will be introduced in 2 steps, starting on the 1st of April and fully in place by the 13th of April. Laurent Saint-Martin, France's Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and French nationals abroad, said that France will not yield to the US threats of imposing tariffs on European Union alcohol products and is determined to fight back alongside its European Union partners. Now, stocks fell as investors worried that Donald Trump would enact stiffer trade barriers around the world's largest consumer market. The S&P 500 finished the day more than 10% below its record high reaching last month, confirming the benchmark index for the US stocks is in a correction. Global stock markets slid on Thursday, especially on Wall Street, as the US President Donald Trump launched a new volley in his trade war, while gold hit a new record high. Shares in luxury giant LVMH, which owns several champagne houses including Dom Perignon and Hennessy, slid 1.1%. Shares in French Drinks Group, which owns two champagne houses and Jameson Irish whiskey, tumbled about 4%. The Paris Stock Exchange finished the day down 0.6% and Frankfurt shed 0.5%. London ended the day flat. Worries about a potential US government shutdown by the weekend also worried the investors, while Russian President Vladimir Putin's limited backing of a possible ceasefire in Ukraine failed to boost the sentiments. Wall Street ended sharply lower on Thursday, and the S&P 500 confirmed it is in a correction after fears of inflation following trade escalation. A broader sell-off sent all three major US stock indices tumbling, with losses in tech and tech-related mega-cap shares dragging the Nasdaq down most. The S&P 500 closed more than 10% below its February the 19th record closing high, confirming the bellwether index has been in a correction since then. On the 6th of March, the Nasdaq confirmed it is in a correction by closing 10.4% lower than its all-time high closing that reached on the 16th of December.
Today in the markets, it's concerns about the debt ceiling and the negotiations related to keeping the government open and functioning. That continues to be a kick the can scenario that I feel like we have to deal with every 6 to 9 months. And we are yet again having this discussion after having kicked the can at the end of last year. Despite softer CPI and PPI numbers than expected, showing that tariffs haven't necessarily had a inflationary impact yet, there's still concern about the uncertainty of policies and the speed of which the Trump administration is moving related to both DOGE and tariff policy.
US President Donald Trump reiterated desire to annex Greenland for international security. During a meeting in the Oval Office with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, Trump expressed confidence that the United States would annex Greenland.
Greenland. What is your vision for the potential annexation of Greenland and getting them potentially
Well, I think it'll happen, and I'm just thinking, I didn't give it much thought before, but I'm sitting with a man that could be very instrumental. You know, Mark, we need that for international security, not just security, international. We have a lot of our favorite players, cruising around the coast, and we have to be careful. And we'll be talking to you. It's a very appropriate, really a very appropriate question.
We're heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. European leaders push for ameliorating ties with South Africa, pledges 4.7 billion euros for Africa's most advanced economy. Zelensky shares iftar with Ukrainian Muslim soldiers in Kyiv. And British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to scrap National Health Service in England. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a fast-breaking iftar meal with Muslim representatives in Kyiv. Zelensky said that this is a tradition of respect and gratitude to the Ukrainian Muslim community and to all the people who celebrate Ramadan. Zelensky wrote on social media platform X that this year, Ukraine's diplomatic efforts to bring peace have coincided with Ramadan. Zelensky also referred to the meeting between Ukrainian and American diplomatic representatives in a Muslim country that provides the platform for discussions. He also expressed hope that these international efforts will succeed and that silence in the skies, at sea and on the front lines will help bring peace closer.
We took part in an iftar. This is a good Ukrainian tradition. It is a tradition of respect for all those who celebrate Ramadan. And today, everyone who attended the iftar spoke about how important it is that prayers for peace for Ukraine will help us to defend our country, our independence, and to end this war as soon as possible and ensure security.
In a bid to save hundreds of millions of pounds and cut waiting lists and bureaucracy, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said on Thursday he would scrap a body overseeing the state-funded health system in England. Starmer was elected in the month of July on a promise to grow the economy and rebuild public services, including the increasingly costly National Health Service. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, an aging population and a series of strikes have left the patients waiting for months and sometimes years for procedures, dragging on the economy.
So today I can announce we're going to cut bureaucracy across the state, focus government on the priorities of working people, shift money to the front line. So I'm bringing management of the NHS back into democratic control by abolishing the arm's-length body NHS England. That will put the NHS back at the heart of government where it belongs, freeing it to focus on patients, less bureaucracy, with more money for nurses, an NHS refocused on cutting waiting times at your hospital.
Healthcare workers in Chile ended a nationwide 72-hour strike on Thursday, calling on the government to improve security at primary care centers and an increase in funding. The strike concluded with a march through Santiago, the capital, where hundreds of healthcare professionals gathered outside the National Palace to protest rising violence against the workers. Gabriela Flores, the president of the National Confederation of Health Officials, warned that more drastic actions could follow in the month of April if their demands are not met. Armenia and Azerbaijan have agreed on the text of a peace agreement to end nearly 4 decades of conflict between the South Caucasus countries. However, the timeline for signing the deal is uncertain, as Azerbaijan has said a prerequisite for its signature is a change to Armenia's constitution, which it says make implicit claims to its territory. Now, peace talks began after Azerbaijan retook Karabakh by force in the month of September back in the year 2023, prompting almost all of the territory's 100,000 Armenians to flee to Armenia. Most now live in Armenia as a refugee. The two post-Soviet countries have fought a series of wars since the last 1980s, when Nagorno-Karabakh, a region in Azerbaijan that had a mostly ethnic Armenian population at that time, broke away from Azerbaijan with support from Armenia. Now their 1,000 kilometers shared border is closed and heavily militarized. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed the announcement, saying there are now no remaining obstacles to the signing of a peace treaty between Azerbaijan and Armenia, which should pave the way for a lasting peace in the South Caucasus. Now, European Union leaders announced a $4.7 billion investment package during a visit to South Africa on Thursday. The European leaders said the visit was an opportunity to strengthen close ties with Africa's most advanced economy, coinciding with the latter's presidency of the group of 20 nations, which the US officials have so far largely snubbed. The The European Union trip was an opportunity to ameliorate ties that soured when South Africa refused to outright condemn Russia's President Vladimir Putin for invading Ukraine.
Today, we are together announcing an investment package to mobilize 4.7 billion euro in South Africa, and this is in both our interest. It includes funding for the clean energy transition, but also funding to boost vaccine manufacturing. South Africa wants to protect the health of its people as well as your autonomy and your local industries. We Europeans want to diversify some of our most critical supply chains, and we know that viruses know no borders. So that is what I call a true mutual interest.
A heated confrontation erupted in Argentina's Congress during a debate over investigating President Javier Milei's alleged ties to a cryptocurrency scandal. Opposition parties pushed for an impeachment trial over Milei's involvement in promoting the Libra crypto coin that later crashed. Tensions escalated into a physical altercation between opposition lawmaker Oscar Frasaco and ruling party member Lisandro Almiron. The ruling Liberal Advances Party blocked efforts to initiate the impeachment trial. Opposition lawmakers continue to push for the trial, claiming Milei's active participation in the scandal. Now, emergency crews in San Juan Capistrano of Southern California rescued a man whose car was trapped in fast-moving water on Thursday. The dramatic rescue involved a helicopter lowering a rescuer to extract the man from his vehicle that was launched against trees in a creek. The man was clinging to a tree in the water but was safely rescued with no injuries reported. The authorities are warning the public to avoid moving water, as even small amounts can carry vehicles or people down the stream. Now, Portugal's President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa announces a snap legislative vote for May the 18th after Prime Minister Luís Montenegro resigned over a conflict of interest dispute. Prime Minister presented the confidence motion last week after the opposition threatened to establish a parliamentary inquiry into his family's data protection consultancy, arguing that its contracts with private companies have benefited Montenegro as a premier. Now moving back to our story on the Russia-Ukraine peace proposal, and to give us more details with analysis on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Anil Thomas. Anil, a very good morning to you and a happy Holi as well. Now, talking about this particular issue, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he agrees with the idea of ending hostilities but needs assurances. Tell us more about this latest and much awaited development on the peace proposal, Anil.
Well, good morning, Deepika. Happy Holi to all the viewers and to all on the panel. Well, this particular line was very much expected from Putin. It's a smart reply that he's given to a proposal that's very vague in nature. Let's also understand that what are the two things why this conflict began. That's where the devil lies in the details. I think Putin is exploiting it to the hilt. The way in which he's gone about with a vague answer to a question where the proposals, deals are still not clear. But I think Putin is very right when he says, why exactly did this conflict start? This conflict, many know, started 3 years ago. But the reason for the conflict is especially the oppression of the Russians that lived in Ukraine, one, and the expansion of NATO that was happening eastwards, which was the cause of concern for Russia. And I think these two key issues have somewhere not in the details of this particular deal. There is a ceasefire deal. I think Russia would be happy to accept it. Remember, the longer this particular conflict continues, the better it is for Russia, and I think there is still no clarity, especially when it comes to NATO membership. Ukraine is that particular offer is off the table. But other than that, when it comes to the territory, that's roughly around 20% that's been annexed. What happens to that? No clarity on that. And the biggest surprise could be, there are areas like Kherson, which Ukraine lost, parts of which Ukraine lost. but then the soldiers that fought that particular fight back, managed to get parts of it, or rather re-annex some parts of it. What happens to those areas? Because there is a lot of sacrifice that the soldiers have done on the battlefield. And I think somewhere deep down, if that 20% of territory that's been annexed at this point of time, what if that swells to 25% or 30%, when the final deal will be signed? So there are issues that Zelensky faces. Zelensky understands that he doesn't have much on the table, that he can, somewhere get some concessions or some kind of deal through. So he's choosing that's the best option available for him. And I think Russia has made a smart move here by agreeing to the deal, but also waiting for the final detail or the final print to come out.
And how is Donald Trump reacting on the peace proposal? Because we are also learning the fact that 56% of Americans felt that he was too closely aligned with Russia.
Well, let's look into the details of that particular survey that's been conducted. 56% believe that Trump is aligning with Russia. That's not all. 27% of Republicans themselves feel, that's his own party, that believes that, it's very much in line with what Putin wants, or what Russia is almost singing the same tune that Putin wants the world to listen. And if you look at that particular survey, close to 89% of the Democrats feel that this particular deal, this particular thing that's happened, especially when it comes to Trump, almost singing the same song that Russia wants, is very much clear on the cards. Look at the other offer. The survey has many other aspects. Look at the offer where, you give some, take some, especially when it comes to the rare minerals deal. There also there is a heavy feeling that, it cannot come, whatever aid or whatever humanitarian or military aid that America provides to Ukraine should not be free. It should be a give and take. And I think Trump has managed to get that particular point going for him. It cannot be free. Whatever we offer, humanitarian, military aid, cannot go free to Ukraine. You'll have to give something in return. That particular rare minerals trade that he's doing, $1 trillion, that are the resources that Ukraine holds, he wants $315 billion of it, worth of it. I think that's something that the Americans are happy looking at how things have panned out. But all in all, if you see that survey clearly indicates that, Trump, somewhere deep down, from the time he's come, to the story that he said, though a false claim, that Zelensky started the war, to Russia singing a different tune, that it's not America, but it's the Europe that's the cause of concern for all the world tensions, clearly indicate that there are shifts in stance that are important, looking at the geopolitical developments that are taking place, the new bonds of friendship that are being developed between Trump and Putin. And, we'll have to wait and watch. But this is a serious cause of concern. This particular survey that's been carried out, it's come at a day. Remember, this is also the day that Crimea annexation in 2014, when it began, this is the anniversary of it. So 11 years down the line, this particular deal coming on the 14th of March is historical on many perspectives, but it is also a time for the world to ponder on, Trump and his policies forward.
Indeed, Anil, but also on the other hand, G7 is also seeking unity against Donald Trump's tariffs. Give us more details on this as well.
Well, G7 would feel the heat, especially the way things have moved around in the last 45 days or so, especially when it comes to tariffs being announced or tariffs being hiked. But having said that, G7 also has a window to leverage. They can go to the WTO, they can go to international trade organizations, they can look at local businesses in America, tell them that it's not possible, it's not working out for you, rather not look at Republican ruled states, but look at Democrat ruled states, try to build pressure, try to de-escalate things, also can bring about retaliatory tariffs, as many countries have looked to do. They can also bring about some kind of, minus United States of America, they can bring about some kind of alliances within the G7, which will look to counter, which will look to checkmate United States and Trump policies. But having said all that, the way forward, to put it simply, could be diplomacy in the first place, strategic retaliatory tariffs that G7 countries can look forward to, and finally reinforcing or, rather looking at ways to re-navigate, especially when it comes to the global world bodies that handle tariffs. That could be the way forward for G7. But this is a tough call to make because, Trump has sometimes moved forward, then come back. So we'll have to wait and watch because Trump understands that tariffs are a great moment that he holds, especially when it comes to, his moving forward, because he believes that this is a great strategic move for him. these tariffs help him get more leverage on the world scene, and I think he's going to make more use of it. But remember, at the end of the day, making America first could also get affected. So it's a tightrope walk that Trump needs to do when it comes to tariffs, and I think he understands it well. Remember, there has been 2 backtracks on 2 tariffs that he's announced. So this is going to be, one step forward, 2 steps behind, and then leave the world confused. But all in all, it's created a dilemma for the world, especially when it comes to tariffs. Countries that are directly dealing with America, countries that, somewhere deep down have trade relations with America could also get affected in the near future. So countries would be left with...
All right.
Would feel the heat. They would, all likelihood, look to come up with plan A, B, C, D to tackle Trump and his administration.
All right. Thank you so much, Anil Thomas, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on the much-awaited developments. Thank you. Time to take a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Up next, we'll get you all live and latest action from across the country on Holi celebrations. Welcome back after that short break. Let's quickly recap the top headlines of the hour. Russian president backs US 30-day ceasefire idea for Ukraine but says details needs to be sorted out. US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff all set to meet President Putin soon. Global stocks tumble as trade war escalates. US President Donald Trump threatens 200% tariff on alcohol from European Union countries. And India celebrates the festival of colours. Holi, Spring Festival, symbolizes the victory of good over evil and marks the end of winter season as well. So one of India's most fun and lively festivals, Holi, the festival of colours, is being celebrated today. The celebration starts with Holika Dahan on the night before, where bonfires are lit to symbolize the destruction of negativity and the victory of good over evil. This ritual is tied to an ancient story where Prahlad was saved from harm and evil was defeated. On the following day, the streets are filled with excitement as people throw colourful gulals at each other, dance, sing and have a great time. Everyone, young and old, joins in the fun, covering each other in beautiful bright colours, indulging themselves in the celebration of life, unity and happiness that brings people closer. While the Holi fever has gripped the Indian diaspora across the globe, foreigners in India are also participating in the Festival of Colours enthusiastically. DD India correspondent Ajay talked to one such devotee who's from Russia. Take a listen.
So we have with us some foreign nationals also who are celebrating Holi in Vrindavan. What's your name, where are you from, and what's the overall experience?
So my name is Christina and my holy name is Madhvidasi. So very blessed to be here with my Guruji, Swami Dr. Ramkamal Das Vedantiji Maharaj.
So how was the overall experience, like, dancing with Krishna and Radha and the little children in the form of God?
Yes, great. My first holy festival. So now I understand what is it, and I find very beautiful to do it with natural flowers rather than with chemical coloring. So I'm very glad that I can witness it, and it's very nice organized in here.
In Kullu, a beautiful valley nestled in Himachal Pradesh, People there celebrated Holi with immense zeal, blending traditional customs with the region's rich cultural heritage. The festival is not just about colors and festivities, but it's also an occasion filled with deep-rooted rituals, cultural performances and vibrant celebrations, making it a unique and joyous event for locals and visitors alike. The Holi Mahotsav also began at Rajasthan's Ajmer, marking the start of one of the most vibrant and exciting festivals in the region. Ajmer, known for its spiritual significance, transforms into a colourful canvas during the Holi festivities. The city attracts thousands of people, both local and tourists, who come to experience the grand Holi celebration. And prayers were also offered at the Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh on the occasion of Holi. On special occasions, the temple is decorated with flowers and lights, and devotees gather to offer prayers and seek blessings. The temple's priests perform special pujas and aartis, and devotees take part in the celebrations with great enthusiasm. And to bring us the latest on Holi and its excitement, I am joined by DD India correspondent Shama Mishra straight from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Very happy Holi to you, Shama. How is Holi being celebrated there?
Happy Holi to you, Deepika. And before I tell you anything, I'll just show you the visuals. Here in Mumbai, it's morning 8:30 and we are already seeing people drenched in dry colors, not in wet colors, and they are playing Holi. This is one particular area which organizes Holi for from the age starting 8 till 80, and people in large numbers come over here. They play Holi in a very decent manner. They play with dry abir, gulal, also with the petals of flowers, and they also try to bring in some traditional touch over here. You can see the ladies singing the traditional songs, and we can also see a communal harmony, a message of communal harmony over here. So people from all religions are also seen over here. Let's understand how they are celebrating it and since how long they've been celebrating this particular Holi over here. Sir, how are you celebrating this, and since how long have you been organizing this?
Okay, we have been doing last 20 years. The silent feature are we play with the rose petal, Galgota petal, and eco-friendly gulal tika. It may not be a color like a oil paint and all those things. And one more thing, no charges, no fees. All are welcome. And in South Bombay, people from Kolaba to Worli, all the people are assembling here at one place. So people are from the skyscraper, even the smaller place. And all are together, all the caste, creed, sex, religion, all come together.
What all can we see here?
Huh?
What all can we see here? The traditional touch?
The traditional battle, people are enjoying. See their faces, happiness. And above all, laughing, singing, dancing, all three gives the happiness. And people are doing everything. Singing is going on, dance people are doing, and laughter we do it. And we all will do the laughter. Yeah. Come on, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so this is the laughter part of...
We wish the country happy Holi, and our happiness index will go up.
Okay.
All the best for everything.
Okay, so sir over here is looking at the larger picture. He's trying to increase our level in the happiness index, and I'll just show you the visuals over here. We also have the traditional dholak one over here. He's playing it since morning. We also have a person dressed as clown, and we also did see many people here, from different religions over here. And so, like sir was mentioning earlier, that from all walks of life people are here. We are also having a bullion expert over here. We usually take his interview, even he is here. Sir, we usually talk about gold, but how about today? How do you see the celebration?
Big celebration, very big celebration. We are doing here since last 20 years, and it's just under Kishore Kuwala. one and only one name is Kishore Kuawala. He make the people laugh.
How valuable is this thing considering
The colors festivals, it is with lot of colors. So which gives a priority to all we share the happiness.
So everyone over here is sharing the happiness, and we also here in Mumbai, usually you will not see that the celebrations begin this early in the morning, but here in this particular area, this is known as the Joggers Park. So you would have seen this in very many films. The shootings over here is iconic. So this is the Joggers Park, and they choose this place so that it is accessible to many. This is easy to reach.
All right.
And these people are there over here. They have their own way of celebrating, and then they will go home, and no need to take bath, because all colors are natural, and it's all flower petals, and everything can be cleaned just in the drier way.
All right. Thank you so much, Rama, for joining us and bringing us those exciting, colorful and musical visuals straight from Mumbai's Joggers Park. Now, celebrating Holi, Sudarshan Patnaik, known for his intricate sand art, honoured goddess Radha and Lord Krishna, the eternal symbols of love and joy for this special Holi creation. The sculpture showcases the playful bond between the goddess and the Lord. Krishna's flute and colourful attire are beautifully detailed, while Radha is depicted with grace and elegance, embodying the divine love that is central to Holi celebrations. And going beyond the boundaries in a vibrant celebration of colors and culture, the Korean Cultural Center hosted a unique Holi celebration blending Indian traditions with Korea's concept of Obangseik, the 5 cardinal colors. The event brought together music, dance and cultural harmony. Here's more. And the Indian diaspora across the globe also came together to celebrate Holi, the festival of colours spreading cheer and unity in Dubai. The Indian community in Dubai came together to celebrate the vibrant festival of Holi at the Srinathji temple in Dubai Pur on Thursday. Now, this historical temple is a cornerstone of Hindu religious life in the UAE and was transformed into a joyous and devotional space as people of all the ages gathered to mark the occasion. Traditional folk songs and devotional chants filled the air, adding to the festive spirit. Beyond the colours and the music, the event served as a cultural bridge, reconnecting the Indian diaspora with their roots while strengthening community bonds.
Around everybody has celebrated Holi. It's full of colors, full of joy. The kids are enjoying there, and we do celebrate Holi even outside our country. So we don't feel that something is different. We are enjoying the festival with everyone. Happy Holi! Happy Holi!
Holi, the vibrant Hindu festival of colours, is widely celebrated in South Africa, especially in cities with large Indian communities like Johannesburg. It is celebrated with great enthusiasm, attracting not only Hindus but also people from diverse backgrounds who enjoy the festivities. DD India's Nazneen Ismail gets us this report. Take a look.
On behalf of the Consulate General of India in Johannesburg and India Club SA, we welcome you to the Basant Utsav of 2025. Holi, the festival of love, colors and joy.
The first, of course, first of the order of the day is Happy Holi to all of you. It's a great honor to be here with all of you. This is my third Holi as Consul General of India here in Johannesburg. And let me tell you that all these 3 years, this is like celebration of all of us coming together, celebrating. It has been all very remarkable. And I must say that this is all because of the efforts of some people who really go out of the way and put together events that allow us to come together and celebrate. And I would like to especially mention India Club, the entire Manco Executive Committee led by Manish ji.
From traditional rituals to modern festivities, the spirit of Holi brings people together in a beautiful blend of tradition and fun. Here at Sri Radhesham Mandir, the air is filled with laughter, music, and of course, a splash of color.
I think so. It's a privilege for Sri Radhesham Mandir also that been inviting all the community, not particular religion, but everyone, and put it together here and celebrate the Holi. The Holi also is like inclusive, everything. All the people include, and then the color of, like as CG said, the Rainbow Nation, all the color and creeds put together.
Happy Holi to everybody. Today's Holi has become like a double festival. India reached the final. So now the Holi with color, with cricket, everything. So people are having extra fun and we are excited for this.
And as you can see, the festivities are high and the colors are rising and everybody is having such a fantastic time here at Sri Radhesham Mandir. So, this is myself, Nazneen, for DD India, Johannesburg, and Happy Holi!
Now, City of Lights, Paris also turned colourful as the Indian community and locals came together to celebrate Holi with music, dance and traditions. The festival brought joy and unity with delicious Indian food and lively Bollywood beats, from playing with colours to cultural performances. Here are the best moments from the vibrant celebration.
Holi is one of the festivals which is very close to Indian hearts, no matter where they are living. We can see Holi celebrations in every corner of the world, and Indians living in Paris are not exception to this. They celebrate biggest Holi in Europe right here in Paris. Let's have a look how they celebrate. A burst of colors, the beats of Bollywood music and spirit of joy. This is not India but the heart of Paris. Every year, thousands of people gather here to celebrate Holi. The festival of colors bringing a piece of Indian tradition to the streets of France with a great enthusiasm. This ancient Hindu festival, symbolizing the arrival of spring and the victory of good over evil, has become much anticipated event in the French capital, attracting not only Indians but also locals and tourists eager to experience the rich cultural traditions of India. One of the biggest Holi gatherings takes place at Jardin d'Acclimatation by LVMH Foundation along with Indian Embassy and Global Indians Organization. At least 30,000 people attends the festival. The celebration includes Bollywood dance and different Indian cultural performances. No Indian festival is complete without food. Food trucks and stalls offer traditional dishes, allowing visitors to taste authentic flavors from different Indian regions. What started as a small community gathering has now turned into a large-scale cultural event, which reflecting strong Indian presence in France. For the Indian diaspora, Holi is not just about the colors, but its way to stay connected with their roots, while sharing in spirit of joy and inclusivity with the world. The highlight of the festival is a grand parade, which is typically commences through the park. This procession features a splendid display of Indian culture, including a rath carrying a royal couple of legends, Raja and Rani. The parade offers an immersive experience reflecting the vibrancy and diversity of Indian traditions. With each passing year, Holi in Paris continues to grow, embracing more people from diverse backgrounds and reinforcing the message of love. As the city looks forward to the next celebration, one thing remains certain. Holi will always be a festival that brings colors, happiness and togetherness to the heart of France. Rohini Gosavi in Paris, reporting for DD India.
In a vibrant celebration of colours and cultures, the Korean Cultural Centre in India hosted a unique Holi celebration, blending Indian traditions with Korea's concept. The event brought together music, dance and cultural harmony. Here's more.
The Korean Cultural Centre India organized a lively Holi celebration that blended India's festival of colours with Korea's cultural concept of Obangsek, representing 5 cardinal colours: white, black, blue, yellow and red.
We all know Holi is the color of the festivals. Korean Cultural Center India made it special and unique today by showcasing cultural exchange between Korea and India. While embracing India's holy celebrations, we also introduced Korea's traditional cardinal colors, named is the 오방색. These 5 colors influence our art and the clothing, the architecture even more. Through this event, I hope all participants enjoy and experience the rich meaning of the colors in both cultures.
Each color holds cultural significance in Korea, symbolizing balance in nature, philosophy, and life. For instance, red signifies south, the fire element, and the virtue of etiquette, while blue represents east, the wood element, and the virtue of benevolence.
Holi Mubarak everyone, happy Holi. So we also hamne बहुत खुश है. So these holy events, I believe and I understand the meaning and the feeling of the holy festival is a all community, it's a group celebration. Everybody happy by throwing the all colors together. You and I, so we all same. No different color of the skin, no different culture or language. Everybody is one body and one together celebrating. We also Korean do have this kind of a culture, especially focusing on these colors. So quite similar, but I believe is like India is a more diversity and celebrating all together in expansion manner. The Korean 5 color has a meaning of the balance and core, so that kind of diversion and intrusion, so becoming together in Korea, India, I think we can become the beautiful friends and beautiful couple together.
For many Koreans, this was their first Holi experience and their excitement was clearly visible. The festive mood was amplified as participants danced on popular Bollywood Holi songs. The celebration highlighted the power of cultural exchange, strengthening ties between India and Korea through the vibrant language of colors, a reminder that joy and harmony know no boundaries. Kriti Vadhera's report for DD India.
In Eritrea, the capital city of Asmara hosted a grand holy gathering which was organized by the Indian community. Meanwhile, in Guatemala, the Embassy of India spearheaded holy celebrations on its premises. In Indonesia, holy festivities were in full swing across cities like Jakarta and Bali. And now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of sports. Well, global messenger of Special Olympics, Kilmer Pogue, praised Indian athletes for their performance at their Special Olympics World Winter Games in Italy. In an exclusive interaction with DD India's Narayan Singh, he also lauded Special Olympics Bharat for promoting inclusion in the society. Take a listen.
Indian athletes are winning the medals for India. Here you can see that a gold medal, a silver medal, and also a silver and a bronze medal. A domination of the Indian athletes in Turin. And right now I am joined by Gilmore Bog, who is the messenger for the Sergeant River Global, and he is right now with us. Gilmore, how you look this thing that the sports is happening for the athletes with intellectual disabilities? Do you think it is a stepping stone for the philosophy of inclusion?
Yes, we are showing what inclusivity truly means. When you have athletes from all around the world with disabilities coming here, giving their all, being their best, and showing everyone, despite their disability, they are still giving their all, doing their best. They are showing that the skies are the limits.
How you look the initiative of the Special Olympic Bharat for the athletes with intellectual disabilities?
For me, today I just learned that Indian athletes don't have that much snow. Despite not having so much snow, they are here winning medals. So they are showing that despite the conditions, they are still giving their all. And that is what Special Olympics is all about.
What do you think about where the movement has reached, and what are the future plans for the world body to take it at a different level?
So for me, we are showing the world that Special Olympics is getting bigger and bigger. It's growing. Lots of people are learning more about Special Olympics. And I think it's heading to the future. The future will be listening to these athletes, seeing these athletes compete and being celebrated for their ability.
The way things are happening, soon we will find that the world body and also the Special Olympic Bharat, the way they are collaborating, the movement of Special Olympic Bharat definitely will be at the top. With camera person Swaminathan, Narayan Singh, DD News, Turin.
In badminton, Indian shuttler Lakshya Sen has ousted defending champion Jonathan Christie in the second round of the ongoing All England Badminton Championships in Birmingham. Lakshya Sen dominated Christie, winning the men's singles category in straight games by 21-13, 21-10. The Indonesian star looked out of control on multiple occasions and the Indian player took an advantage to clinch the match. Lakshya Sen has reached quarterfinals of the prestigious tournament now. It was his third victory over Christie. Whereas in women's category, Malvika Bansod lost to Japan's Akane Yamaguchi in the second round. And before we close, it's now time to get you some amazing visuals as a diverse array of carnation varieties captivated audiences at the Colombia's 9th Week, which is the annual floriculture fair that unveils new types of the celebrated flowers from the South American nation. Over 250 varieties of carnations are on display at the event that aims to showcase new varieties developed through techniques such as hybridization as well as production methods utilized by Colombian growers. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. From all of us here in New Delhi, we are wishing you a very, very happy, colourful, joyous and prosperous Holi. Keep watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.